Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1022. When we last left our heroes, Robin was continuing her fight with Black Maria. Black Maria tried to sort of counter all of Robin's attacks, but Robin eventually unveiled a new attack where the giant clone she formed in 1020 took on a demonic aspect and seemingly gained armament haki, though it's a little bit unclear. And just kind of shattered Black Maria into pieces, or like broke her bones. Brooke took out her remaining henchmen, and with that, the last member of the Tobiropo has been seemingly defeated. Again, this is Onigashima, and who's ever actually defeated on Onigashima, but for the time being, it seems done. And so, we then come back to the Wano mainland, where Luffy has been fed by Caribou. Caribou has unveiled himself and it's fed Luffy. Luffy's ready to go back to the fight, but Momo goes over to Shinobu to ask her to use her devil fruit to age him up into a more powerful dragon, while also, costing him his childhood. So yeah, with that, let's dive right on into chapter 1022, The Stars Take the Stage. Our cover here is a frog playing hide-and-seek with the Tontatas and a bunch of hydrangea flowers. It's nice, it's the Tontatas, we haven't seen them in a long while. But it just kind of is. That title, though, The Stars Take the Stage, kind of brings to mind the act structure. The series hasn't really touched in about 60-ish chapters since Act 3 started. And so I'm curious if we're kind of moving back into that. If it's a sign we're going back into that kind of act structure, will we get an Act 4? If it is based on Kabuki plays, I believe Kabuki plays are generally in 5 acts, so maybe we're not as close to the end as I kind of have been thinking we are. Or if it's just like the headliners are coming, they're the stars, and King, Queen, and Jack are all kind of still at large. With the Tobiropo down, they're kind of the next obvious enemy. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, we open with a bit of narration. Over 30,000 members of the Beast Pirates squared off against a raid of 5,400 from the Samurai Pirate Alliance. But the gap slowly closed, thanks to Otama's Millet Dumpling strategy and the inspired efforts of the samurai and pirates. And we see the narrator is telling us that all 5 of the non-traitor Tobiropo have fallen. Very definitively, we see Sasaki with an X, Black Maria with an X, Page 1 with an X, Ulti with an X, Who's Who with an X, all of them in their locations in the dome. So yeah, they're down. Now the enemy's fearsome Tobiropo are down and out. So yeah, unless the narrator is just straight up lying to us, we're done with them. And then we cut to above the Wano mainland, Onigashima. Time left until it reaches the flower capital, only 15 minutes. But we see Luffy is now full of food, bloated, and raring to go. But back on Onigashima, we then cut back to Onigashima. On the 3rd floor of the castle, where we finally cut back to Raizo's fight with Fukurokuju. As he presses Fukurokuju, "Why Kurozumi Orochi? Why would you serve such a wretched man, Fukurokuju?" And we hear people in the background calling, "There's a fire! Put out the flames!" Because yeah, the whole hall is on fire around them. But yeah, we're coming back to this fight. We're seeing that same trick that Oda has been doing throughout with these fights. He's sort of coming back to at the end of showing our hero sort of out of breath. Anyway, Raizo readies his next attack. Ninpo, Clone Jutsu, Ka! But Fukurokuju counters, "We shinobi exist to serve the Shogun, whomever he is. Ninpo, earlobe crackers!" And we see his large earlobes start to swirl like tentacles. Going to go whack Raizo, I suppose. But Fukurokuju kind of taunts, "And speak for yourself. The man you serve is a ghost!" And only one of the Raizo clones responds, "You mean Lord Odin?" And Fukurokuju zooms in on that. "That's the real you!" And he whacks him with the earlobe. Ugh! And Fukurokuju snaps, "You are too emotional to ever succeed at the way of the shinobi, no matter how much skill you have at ninjutsu." But Raizo gets back up with this big grand shonen speech. "It is those very emotions that make us who we are." And Fukurokuju is sort of shocked that he's still rising. On that fateful day, we laughed together, We cried together. We perished together with Lord Odin. And now we are mere ghosts, driven to carry out the wish of our Lord. And we see all of the several members of the Akazaya. Kawamatsu still, I forget where he is exactly. Kinemon on the ground after being taken up by Kaido. Nekomamushi, who I think was with Kawamatsu and maybe Sanji at one point. Denjiro, and Kiku, who was also on the ground after her defeat by Kanjuro, and then also Izo, who's also doing something. I forget exactly where the non-defeated members of the Akazaya are right now. Anyway, it was not his order to us, not a mere duty. Each of us chose to follow our emotions and carry out this mission of our own free will. If we must die to accomplish that, so be it. And we see Ashura Doji, the pairing of Ashura Doji and that line is very kind of telling. As last, he blew himself up against Kanjuro, right? I think it was Kanjuro, yeah. But yeah, he's maybe not alive. Again, it's One Piece, and very few people actually die in One Piece. But the pairing of that line feels intentional. But then we see Inuarashi, who when we last left off was fighting Jack. I bring that up because of that the stars take the stage. And Fukurokuju and Raizo are very much not the stars, but the headliners very much could be. So maybe you're about to kind of go back into that Inuarashi versus Jack fight. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, back to the actual stuff at hand. Today, the long dark night of Orochi and Kaido ends, and a glorious sun rises over the land again. And Fukurokuju just kind of watches placidly as Raizo finishes, Lord Momonosuke shall be shogun. And I'm sure nothing bad is happening with Momo right about now. Either way, it becomes the third floor, or I guess elsewhere on the third floor. I think we're still on the third floor. It says third floor, but it's still the same floor we're on, with Killer versus Hawkins, a fight I kind of forgot was still going on. As Killer calls, Hawkins, how many replacements do you have left in there? And we see Killer is also breathing heavy, out of breath. The fight's been going on for a while. It's a trick Oda has used again and again as these fights got in. As, throughout this arc, everything but the end of fights has kind of been skipped. We need that sort of tell. It's a problem it's a nice solution to a problem I have with this arc, even if it doesn't really address anything, doesn't solve it. Anyway, Hawkins kind of goes on, barely any. My outlook is poor. Hehehe. I pity those, and then Killer counters, I pity those lives. I forget exactly how Hawkins' powers work. It's been, Hawkins is never a character I noticed too much about. And so he has this sort of, straw man body going on. Is he, using other people's lives as, a shield for his own or something? I assume to really get answers as to what the hell his powers are, take a deep dive into the wiki. I'm not going to bore y'all with that while I read. Or, you know what I mean. I'm not going to bore y'all with that while I'm supposed to be doing this video. But I'm just the quick one paragraph summary. Parameci type devil fruit that allows the user to create and manipulate straw at will, with the straw having damage reducing properties. I guess it's somewhere in the techniques that sort of drains other people's... Oh yeah, here we go. When Hawkins suffers an injury, the damage is redirected to one of the dolls, and in turn to the person the doll represents. And he's running out of those dolls because Killer keeps sort of killing him. Alright, gotcha. Sorry for that. It's the thing about One Piece that there's just so many fucking characters, it's really hard to keep them all straight. Anyway, so that's what's going on. He has been dealing fatal blows to Hawkins, and Hawkins has been surviving by sort of passing that damage on to others. I'm guessing Beast Pirate members, which is why Killer is kind of fine killing him over and over again, I guess. But anyway, Hawkins presses, but while there are a few left, the real question is, and we see one of those dolls, whose lives are they? Oh, he's got Kid. Okay, I did apologize for mid-video reading up on Hawkins' powers, but now I'm glad I did, because this scene would not really work for me if I did not look up how his powers work. And we see, back on the second floor, with Law and Kid versus Big Mom, Kid just keels over. And Law calls, "Hey, what's gotten into you? What's wrong, Eustace?" And Kid just kind of pukes, it sounds like, or just groans. Ugh. And yeah, we see this stab wound in his chest. What is this? Where do these stab wounds come from? And Hawkins sort of lets that reveal sit as Killer puts the pieces together. "No! Are you saying that straw doll belongs to..." And Hawkins just kind of confirms that. "It would have been satisfying to allow you to kill Kid yourself without realizing what you've done. But then I decided it would be more entertaining to tell you and watch you struggle to attack..." Excuse me. That felt bad. I don't know what that was. "It would be more entertaining to tell you and watch you struggle to attack me." Like, yeah, how does he get past, how does he get around this? How can he attack? If Hawkins can transfer all damage done to him to Kid, I'm not quite sure, like, does stealing the doll do anything? I don't know. Again, Hawkins, like I said, Hawkins is one of those characters I just don't know a lot about. And so I'm not quite sure. Like, if you take the doll far enough distance away from Hawkins, does that kind of break the chain? Or is it going to have to be Killer knocks Hawkins unconscious somehow? I don't know. Anyway, Hawkins taunts, "The only way you can finish me off is by personally killing your own captain." And Killer has to kind of sit with that. "Go on then. Put on a show for me." And Killer laughs. We see this image of Kid kind of bloodied up, and Killer laughs. "Wah, wah, wah. I like your style." And then we come back to the performance floor, where there's just screaming, "Yeah, I..." And we see Queen and King have both arrived on the performance floor, on the stage, attacking the turncoat beast pirates. "Listen up, this is Queen, all you miserable former beast pirates." I'm not sure if these are dumpling beast pirates or just the pro Chopper gang. I'm not sure if Tama ever got over here, so this might just be the Chopper gang. And King is sort of like blasted one's face in. "The price for treason is very steep." And the guy is holding the screens, "Yeah!" And we see all of these ex-beast pirates burning. I guess at King's flames. And one of the, I guess, ex-beast pirates calls, "Where's Marco? Help us out of this, man!" And we see Marco, who's just collapsed. Out of energy. "He's reached the limit of his stamina. We gotta fight our own battle now." And then we see Sanji, who's also been kind of beat up and exhausted from his fight with Queen. Again, one of those things I kind of wish we had seen. But yeah, Sanji seems pretty out for the count. Not like defeated, but at the very least, down. Injured, out of energy. One of the samurai runs up to him. "Sanguro, are you alright? They're looking for Zorojiro." There we go. And then Sanji, who I guess was after Marco's defeat, was fighting King and Queen together. Again, one of those things I wish we had seen. It feels like we got that cut just so the anime could fill in more stuff. Anyway, damn it. 2 of them at the same time is too much. And I think someone calls out, that's not Sanji, "Who can possibly stop them? They'll wipe out the entire floor." And then Sanji calls, "Chopper, Miyagi, if the medicine isn't working, just drag that green mummy to safety." We gave him the medicine, but... And right, because Zoro has slowly been healing thanks to that medicine, but he's still wrapped up. And Miyagi is the female mink there, and Tristan is the male, I think. Either way, the woman turns to Chopper. "Will it still take longer?" And then the doctor, "He's in grave condition to begin with." And little baby Chopper calls out to him, "Keep your chin up, Zoro." And we see Zoro just gritting his teeth, bearing through the pain. And Sanji gets right back up. Weakened, but he's still kicking. Literally still kicking, as he kicks Queen. "You want me? I'm right here." "Ah!" And Queen sort of, his face kind of goes flying. The samurai cheer, "Sanguro!" And King tells someone, "Find Roronoa Zoro and put an end to him. They were giving him some kind of strange treatment. Don't let them heal him." Rah! And then we see Paris Barrow, who is also still kicking. Ready to shoot an arrow. "Stupid beasts. They kicked up so much dust I can't see my target." I'll be the one to eliminate Vinsmoke Sanji Perorin. So, yeah, now with Marco out of the picture for now, he's turned his focus to Sanji. If you'd simply married Pudding like you were told to, we never had to team up with these cretins. And he also happens to have a grudge against Sanji. And then someone calls in, that's him, boss. And we see Perospero readying his attack. Perorin? Oh, it's Nekomamushi, ready for some revenge. Oh yeah? And Perospero readies his arrow. Now die, Germa's biggest failure. And Nekomamushi runs up and smacks him. Step outside. This is for Pedro. Blah, blah. And Perospero goes flying. Nekomamushi lands on like one of the torii gates. I'm not done with you. And then some Beast Pirate loyalists finally find Zoro. Meanwhile, we sort of leave Nekomamushi there. We found him. There's Roronoa Zoro. And the gang just sort of picks up Zoro and books it. They spotted us. Run faster. And then some more of our guys call out, protect Zorojiro. He suffered those wounds honorably. But blocking the Zoro retreat squad's path is King. Ah, it's King! And King readies his, like, flame attack. Do we know exactly what his devil fruit is? Like a pterodactyl, I think. I'm not quite sure how that ties in with fire, though. Either way, he readies his flame attack. Chopper calls, no! Leave him alone! And King readies his attack. Sanji sees that, abandons Queen, runs to protect Zoro. Damn it! Do I have to do everything for you, Mosshead? And he runs up to I think this is Sanji. He runs up to King, Undying Thistle! And King counters Imperial Flame! And there's this big clash. Zoro is protected for now. Oh wait, no, that is Marco. It was Marco, not Sanji. Who is still kicking, despite the fact that he seemed to be down. Which is, I will admit, is nice, the running theme with the Beast Pirates, that they would seem to be down and kind of get back up. That was really big with Ulci in page 1. Is now being applied to our heroes. Both Sanji and Marco start the chapter seemingly down for the count, but then, turns out, lo and behold, they're still kind of kicking. Anyway, Marco sort of taunts King. I've heard tales from long, long ago about the race of people atop the Red Wall who could burst into flames. And here we have King the Wildfire. Wait, hold on, that's a new thing, right? A race of people atop the Red Line who could burst into flames? That sounds like brand new information to me. But also, the thing with One Piece lore is that there's so much of it that sometimes I just forget things. But this feels new to me. I feel like we've not heard this part before. And Queen's sort of angry at Marco's reappearance. You're still alive, Marco? And Marco keeps on sort of testing King. Now, would that mean... And Queen readies this, another, like, laser attack. The Whitebeard pirates are supposed to be dead already! And Marco just kind of turns off his flames. Alright, I give up. I'm satisfied. That's it from me today. That's not a good time to do that, Marco. But all of a sudden, Zoro's bandages tear. I think Zoro's ready to join the fight again. Chopper can just only watch in abject shock. And Marco explains his reasoning. It's time for the stars to take the stage. And yep, that's our title moment. Our alliance calls out, yay, look at that! Yeah, he's back! And Zoro's ready to go. 3-sword style. Purgatory Oni. And then we have Sanji readying his own attack. Diable, Motone, and King and Queen are both shocked as Zoro and Sanji both enact devastating attacks on King and Queen. Giri, Mallet! And both King and Queen take major hits. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're not down for the count, but Zoro is back in the fight, as is Sanji. That's their final matchups of the arc, I'm guessing. And the crowd goes wild. Yeah, it's the Straw Hats! And Zoro says to Sanji, hey, Twirly, once we conquer this battle. And Sanji agrees, yeah, we're going to catch a glimpse of Luffy as the king of the pirates. To be continued. The chill I got reading that, catch a glimpse of Luffy as the king of the pirates. Good shit. I said it before, the undying faith the crew has in Luffy as the future king of the pirates is by one of my favorite parts of the entire series, easily. It's always just so good. The faith they have in this funky little kid and his ability to fucking conquer the world. I love it. But yeah, let's talk this chapter. Because I've talked a lot in the past about focus chapters and overview chapters. And this is very much an overview chapter. You know, we check in on the Raizo Fukurokuju fight. We have Hawkins and Killer. The slightest glimpse of Kid, but that's more just a part of Hawkins and Killer. And then the bulk of the chapter is the, reemergence of Zoro and Sanji, starting their takedown of King and Queen. Excuse me. And so it's scattered in a way. I've talked in the past about how it's not really my favorite kind of One Piece chapter. I prefer the chapters that sort of stick in, one scene for the most part and just sort of roll with that. Things like the past couple of chapters did with Robin and Brooke and Jinbei and Frankie's respective fights. But the content we get here is no fucking slouch. We get, Raizo with a Big Damn Shonen speech, and y'all know how I feel about Big Damn Shonen speeches. That's my fucking shit. Raizo is, again, one of those characters I'm not a huge fan of. He's just kind of... One of those guys is just kind of there for me. But that whole bit about, it's those emotions that aren't great at the way of the shinobi are the things that make us human. It's why we care. It's why we're going to save Wano and why we will win. Top tier shit. That's just some top tier fucking shit. We then get this sort of this huge sort of emotional problem for Killer, who, does not really want to kill Kid. That last bit of hua hua hua, I like your style, at the idea that he would have to kill Kid. I'm curious how that's going to turn out. Is Killer, in the end, going to take down Kid? Is he going to find a workaround somehow? I'm not quite sure. I'm excited to see what happens there, honestly. The Killer Hawkins fight, given that I'm not a big Killer or Hawkins fan, was not really a fight I was super looking forward to. But putting that sort of emotional stake into it, I can see it really working for me as that fight continues. But then we get, of course, to the meat of the chapter, the performance floor, King and Queen working together, seemingly having kind of conquered the day. And then Zoro is finally back. Marco sort of steps aside for the true stars in that good moment there. And yeah, Zoro's back. It's hard to say Sanji is back when he was like... We never got to really see him beat down. We sort of like looked away for a few weeks, then we turned back and he was defeated, and then he wasn't defeated. Which again ties into some of my larger problems with the arc and just the content that feels sort of skipped. But the content we get is just top fucking tier. Yeah, Zoro's back. They're working together. I'm curious. The last thing I want to kind of bring up. I'm curious if this part of the performance floor will be a 2-on-2 kind of situation or two separate 1-on-1 situations. If it's largely going to be King versus Zoro and Queen versus Sanji, or Zoro and Sanji versus King and Queen, which is slightly. It sounds the same, but it's slightly different. But yeah, time will tell. Next chapter is next week, no break. That's always a good thing to hear. But yeah, great fucking chapter this week. I'm all here for it. And yeah, that's kind of all I gotta say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!